Hey guys, what's up? I'm here to give you guys a recap on the new chapter of One Piece, which is on chapter 953. This chapter looked really interesting. I mean, we get to know a little backstory about Kawamatsu. Well, not his entire backstory from the very childhood to present time, but we get to know that he was affiliated or he was an acquaintance to someone, which is really shocking when going towards the end of this chapter, and the way how this chapter ended is really shocking as well. So if anything else, let's just get this started. We have to it that the chapter opens up with Kawamatsu in the past getting a note from Hiyori saying, "Thank you so much for everything, I'll be fine on my own." And we see to it that Kawamatsu would be the one to try to look for Hiyori everywhere. And we go back to present day where this warrior monk ends up running away and Zoro chases after him. Eventually Zoro will end up having to um find a place eventually of where that warrior monk must have ran off to. But eventually we go back to the Oihagi bridge where Kawamatsu and Hiyori catch up with each other, teasing each other or something, even Kawamatsu's being such a tease. But aside from that, Hiyori asks him like, "Can you tell me why you are here?" And we see to it that Kawamatsu explains about a certain place that he will commit seppuku should something terrible happen to Hiyori, which is the princess, which we all know who that is. And we see to it that Kawamatsu explains about having to go into the Hakumai large mountain, but eventually it was actually renowned by a powerful family, especially a daimyo's son named Lord Shimotsuki Ushimaru. Now, if you guys know the name of Ushimaru or something, possibly in history, you guys may understand that that guy is possibly very important. But aside from that, we get to know that Kawamatsu came upon that place and ended up meeting some kind of like fox, which is called Onimaru or something. It means dog, and then kitsune, I don't know. But aside from that, he was actually a pet to Daimyo, whoever that guy is that created a bunch of, who was a master swordsman. And we see to it, of course, that Kawamatsu would heal him up by giving him food, and is actually surprised to see to it that this fox will be protecting the place for a very long time. But aside from that, Onimaru, the little fox whatsoever, will later on bond with Kawamatsu, but later on they would get into a fight because Kawamatsu would disturb the sword's resting place. But Kawamatsu explains about why he's doing this, as he cannot allow these swords to be stolen, not to mention there's a big battle will come in about 13 years time, which is to present time right now in One Piece, and explains to the fox that he has failed a mission where he couldn't protect Hiyori or something, and he can't let these swords rest, and these weapons are needed to fight against Kaido, the beast pirates, and if I can't protect Lady Hiyori, then this is the very thing I can at least do. If you're hungry, rip off my arm and take it with you, okay? I'm not going to stop. And he cries in pain. After the little fox understood what he was saying, he decides to let him do what he needs to do. Eventually, the fox will also do the same thing as well, like grabbing the swords and then try to hide them. And we see to it, of course, Kawamatsu decides to work with the fox to hide the swords underground. And of course, they were kind of hungry, and he was about to sell 1 or 2 swords at the capital, but the fox would not let him. But Kawamatsu will be the one to borrow food. In other words, he will end up stealing it. But eventually, the place will still be protected by a guy named Gyukimaru, which is something that Kawamatsu decides to make up a name and stop the grave robbers or anyone else to go after. And we see to it that Kawamatsu got himself caught by a bunch of normal people because he was called the Aburahagi thief, and I'm guessing he stole food, and they eventually caught him. And we see to it that Hiyori asks him, "Are you here to meet the fox?" And he goes like, "Yeah, it's been 13 years. I cannot imagine he stayed here all this time. At least if the swords we hid are still back there, we should have enough for a few hundred people at most." And we see to it that Zoro found a place where he explains "Hey, this guy actually went in, should we just enter?" And we see to it that Kawamatsu gets a phone call from from a friend, which I don't even see the name being revealed. But Kawamatsu explained to his comrade that you don't have to worry about the weapons because we have enough for everyone. And I'll send you some forces to the location I'm about to tell you. And we see to it that Kawamatsu is asking himself, how come there's so many weapons here? Like, this is no ordinary work. It has to be a work of a human. Unfortunately, without knowing, Gyukimaru, the warrior monk that was dressed up, is actually the little fox. Yes, you heard me. That little fox was actually dressed up, or he was actually human. So I'm guessing this has to be a power of a devil fruit or something else that the little fox has. But whatever the case may be, that little fox has been stealing weapons and gathering them for the upcoming fight against Kaido. Only sad thing is, I'm pretty sure Shusui would not be involved in this. Even Zoro would want that sword back, but he already tells him otherwise. He said, if your sword is truly Shusui, then please give it back to this country. But Zoro says, are you kidding me? That's my freaking sword. Why would I want to lose it right now? But we get an exchange from Hiyori in great equivalence or higher. She explains to Zoro that you give back that sword, I will give you a suitable replacement. It actually belonged to my late father's. It belonged to my father before, and this blade is called Emma. It is known to be a legendary blade that managed to give Kaido his one and only scar. Which I go like, you mean to tell me that Hiyori's father, Odin, of all people, held a sword to give Kaido his only scar on his body? Let's backtrack real quick, okay? We do also know Odin was possibly part of Goldie Roger Pirate's crew, which also confirms that Odin has to be very strong because he has a Hashoku no Haki, King's Conqueror's Haki. Even Ashura, that thief guy whatsoever, even knows about that. But to get a sword that could damage Kaido or something, the one and only scar that was given to him, that sword has to be in the highest grade, at least equal to Mihawk's blade. You know what I'm talking about, because a sword like that to actually injure a freaking like Yonko, it has to be at least equal to Mihawk's Yoru blade, like the black blade that Mihawk carries around. It has to be the same grade level as that. I mean, that's the only thing. I mean, it would be shocking if it was in the same grade of like Shusui or something, but I'm pretty sure that sword has to be above that. It has to be. I mean, equal to Mihawk's black blade Yoru, to the world's greatest swordsman, you know. It has to be the possibility, because that's really shocking. The only scar has ever been given to Kaido was from Odin's blade, Hiyori's father's blade, that was given to her, and now she's going to give it to Zoro in exchange if you give back Shusui. But I don't know if Zoro might take up that offer because maybe he has not earned it. But we'll have to see. Anyways, that ending right there was really phenomenal. I mean, the chapter about Kawamatsu and the fox, and Kawamatsu trying to gather up the weapons for war. That's just a simple recap of his backstory. That's all I could really tell you after he failed to protect Hiyori, or after she ran off somewhere else. But aside from that, looking forward to the next chapter. No break. And whatever this blade is, I hope it has a really nice design. And depending on the situation, if it really gave Kaido that his one and only scar on his body, then we better see that in action. We don't know. But as for Shusui, if Zoro's going to lose that blade in exchange for Emma, which is the only blade that actually gave Kaido his one and only scar, I mean, it'll be cool and all, but I like to see it one more time in action with Zoro, at least. Even though Zoro had earned his right to get Shusui, because we go back to Thriller Bark, he fought Ryuma, that mighty hero whatsoever, and he was given permission to keep that blade. So I don't know what's about to happen, but I guess we're going to have to find out. So until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm Fazero, people. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time, alright? Peace out. Bye-bye. Toot-toot-toot!